In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to use AI to analyze the names in your family tree. If you're not a programmer, don't worry. You'll be using AI prompts to get easy to run scripts that identifies the most common names in your tree and produces a colourful chart like this. You're going to do things in this order. 1. Export your family tree into a GEDCOM file. 2. Convert the file into a spreadsheet listing all people in your tree. 3. Have a quick intro to a free Google platform called Google Colab where you'll run your scripts. And 4. Use an AI tool like ChatGPT or an alternative to give you scripts that analyze your tree. If you've watched some other videos on this channel, you've already done steps 1, 2, and 3. You don't need to repeat that. Feel free to fast forward to get to part 4, where we do the surname analysis and produce the surname frequency chart. So, let's get started. First step is to export your family tree into a file stored on your local computer. This file is known as a GEDCOM file. All the major online family tree websites have an option to export to GEDCOM. The exception is Family Search. All the desktop software applications that manage family trees have an option to export to GEDCOM. I'm going to show you the most popular options. This is Ancestry. Click these 3 dots here and go to Tree Settings. Then over on the right, you're looking for this link to export your tree. Click Export, and then you just wait while the file is being prepared. If you have Family Tree Maker, the export option is under the File menu. Keep the default options of exporting the entire file in the GEDCOM format. Keep these options and click OK. You're going to use an AI tool to create that code, but we do need somewhere to run it. I'm going to use a free Google platform called Google Colab. You just need a Google account to use it. So let's get you started on Google Colab. Google Colab, so it's colab.google. If you're logged into a Google account, you don't have to sign in again or sign up. What you can do is go straight to New Notebook, either here or up here. I'm going to click it here. I'm logged into a Google account. If I wasn't logged into a Google account and I click New Notebook, it would give me the login screen. Log in, and then you will be taken to this new notebook. Notebook is where you put your code. This box here is called a cell. We can put our code into the box and we can click the run command. What I'm going to do is the classic first piece of code that you ever write. I'm going to print hello world. So type print with these parentheses, quotation, hello world, and then I click the run button. It connected to the Python engine running on the Google servers, and it has printed hello world. Now, you may notice Gemini appearing in lots of different places. You can, if you like, use the Gemini AI tool. Instead of using Google's Gemini, I think more people are used to using ChatGPT. Google's Gemini is free and it also works fine for this. Perplexity AI, Claude, they all work fine. If you decide to use an AI tool in a separate browser page and copy the code back over here, you may find that Gemini just gets in the way. What I do is I turn it off. I'll just show you my settings. If I go to Open Settings, I go to AI Assistance and I click Hide Generative AI Features, makes it go away, and then I will close that tab. So now I have a nice big window for my code and what I'm going to display, and I'm good to go. So now I know how to use Google Colab. I'm going to go and get Python notebook that converts a GEDCOM file into a spreadsheet format. I've provided that notebook as a free download on our online store. The link to get the notebook is in the description below. Place the link here, click enter, brings me to this page. Click download now, enter your email address, click continue, click download now, and then I know this is a little silly, but you've got to click the download button again. You don't need to go check your email to get the file, just click download, and there we go. I'll go to my downloads folder, and here is the Python notebook. And now I've got this Python notebook, I want to import it into Google Colab. Back to Google Colab, I'm not going to save this file, I am going to import or upload that Python notebook that's in my downloads folder. So I go to File, Upload Notebook, Browse, go to the Downloads folder. There's the notebook, convert GEDCOM for analysis, and click Open. Next few seconds, and here is the notebook. The only thing you have to do with this notebook before you run it is to change one line. And that line is this line, which gives the location of your GEDCOM file within Google Colab. And you're probably going to have to change the name of the GEDCOM file. Mine is called family-tree.ged. Yours might be something different. But before we change the name, we need to upload our GEDCOM file to Google Colab. Over here in the left pane, this icon here is a folder or files. Click on Files to expand, and there is one folder in the content area, and that folder is called Sample Data. It's always there. If we expand Sample Data, we will see a small number of sample files that Google provides with every session. We can ignore these, but we are going to upload our GEDCOM file into this area. To upload a file, hover over the sample data folder and click on the ellipsis, these three little dots here. That gives you a menu which lets you choose upload to upload your file. There is my GEDCOM file, family-tree.ged. Yours could be named something different. Click open. It's giving you this warning telling you that these files don't get persisted. That's fine. Click OK. And now we've seen magically appear this new file under sample data called family-tree.ged. Now suppose your GEDCOM file name is smith.ged. Whatever it is, you come over here to this cell only, this second cell. It's clearly marked to change this cell only, and this is what you have to change. My GEDCOM file is called family-tree. Yours is called smith.ged. Just change it there. I will change it back to family-tree. And be very careful you don't overwrite these forward slashes. That's all you need to change. You don't need to change anything else. What you do need to do is to start running this notebook from the top. So the very first cell is this cell here. I'm clicked into this first cell. I'm going to click the Run button. It'll take a little bit of time. It's finished. And then we click into the next cell, which you have modified to have the name of your family tree. And we click Run. Third cell is just a little detail about a full course that I have available on our online store. The first two modules are free, by the way. That's just a comment. You can run it, but it doesn't do anything. We now come to this cell here. It's the one that's doing all of the work. It loops around all the people in your GEDCOM. It's creating a table of all those people, and then we save that table to file back in the sample data folder. And the very last thing it does is it shows the first few rows. So let's click Run. Let's do its magic. Been pretty quick. Here's showing the first 5 rows. And then if you look over to the left, notice that a new file has magically appeared. A new file called familytree.txt for me, or whatever the name of your GEDCOM file is, you will see a new file with the .txt extension. Now you can download that. Click on the 3 little dots here, the ellipsis, and click Download. And here it is. And you can open that in a spreadsheet application of your choice. For the purposes of this tutorial, we're going to do some surname analysis on this data. So now we're going to use ChatGPT to give us code to analyze and chart the surnames in our family tree. This is the free version of ChatGPT. I'm going to do one thing that you don't need to do. I am going to make this a temporary session. That means it won't go look at the history of what I've already asked. That's just to mirror you following along with me where you haven't done this before. This video shows every prompt I use in full, so you can type them into a GPT chat window. But maybe you're in a hurry and you just want the final solution. I've collected all the prompts into a PDF and I've prepared the final Python script. This is available together on the Data Mining DNA online store. The link is in the description below. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to tell ChatGPT that I'm using Google Colab. I am using Google Colab. Just for readability, I'm going to move on to the next line. Don't hit enter because it'll submit this and ChatGPT will say, oh, that's very interesting. What do you want to do? I'm going to hold down Shift and press enter just to give myself a new line. And now I'm going to use a specific piece of terminology, of Python code terminology, in order to tell it where I'm at with the notebook I already have. If I toggle over to my notebook, the very last thing that I've got is this display where I'm showing the first 5 rows. With this particular code that I'm using, we don't call that table, we call it a data frame. That's the only piece of terminology that you need to know, but I want to tell ChatGPT that's what I'm using because it might think I'm using a different type of table. I'm also going to tell it that the name of my data frame is DF, where DF stands for data frame. But by giving it the name of my data frame, and when I ask it to give me code, it'll use the same name that I give it. Instead of using a different name, then you have to edit what you get. So I have a data frame, capital D, capital F, named DF. That is a list of people from my family tree. And then I'm going to tell it that the first column is first name and the second column is last name. Now I'm going to focus on the last name for my analysis in this tutorial. And again, when I explicitly tell ChatGPT that that is the name of the column, it'll give me code that references that name as opposed to, let's say, surname. And then I'd have to go in and edit it to last name. So now I've given it the background of where I'm at, I want to tell it what I want it to do. I want a new data frame that shows the frequency of last names in my tree. So I'm going to submit that, hitting this little arrow. By the way, I didn't tell it I wanted Python back, but because I told it I'm using Google Colab, it knows that it's Python I want. It's giving me the code and an explanation, and it offers a few other things that at the moment I'm not interested in. I'm just going to hit copy, toggle over to my notebook, and right now, this is the last cell, and I don't have anywhere to put that code I just copied into my clipboard. So I'm going to give myself an extra cell, and I can now paste the code into this new cell, and then I can hit run. So this display, starting with the name O'Gorman, is in my tree 49 times, then Young 39. And then notice that we've got these dots or ellipses, and then it jumps down to showing names that are only in my tree once. And then down here it's telling me, well, there are 135 rows. That means that it has 135 distinct last names, but it's only showing me 10. So it's truncating the display. I want to see all the names. So I'll just tell it that. I'll go back to ChatGPT and I tell it I want a fix to this. So I'm going to tell it the display is not showing the full list of names. I want to see them all. I see what it says. Okay. So it is telling me that by default, the output is truncated. And then it's giving me a couple of options. At this point, I don't want to get multiple options. So I'm going to say, please do not give me multiple options. Give me the simplest solution. It is trying to be helpful, but it can be confusing. So it's giving me one solution, but it's only given me one line. If you're a beginner, you might know where to put this, where to edit it. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT, give me the full code. If DF is already defined, the example block can be skipped. What it's talking about is this. These little hashes means that this won't run, but I don't want it. So I'm going to tell it, DF is already defined. Give me the full code. I'm going to copy this back over. I need to give myself a new cell, run this, and you see the scroll bar here? Just scroll up so I can see the top. There's O'Gorman. A little bit confusing because there's two scroll bars here. There's the one on the right, which is the overall window, and then there's this one, which is actually within the cell display window. So the next thing I notice is that I've got two entries that are kind of messing up the data. See here, between Connolly and Fox, what that means, well, there's nothing there. It means that I have entries in my family tree where I don't have a last name. So in my tree, I'll have the first name and no surname. But if I scroll down a little bit, I'm also seeing this. Like, what's that? Well, it is what it looks like. It's a set of underscores, which sometimes can be used as a convention to have a missing name. I probably shouldn't use both blank and these underscores, but I don't want them in this frequency report. So I'm going to tell ChatGPT that I don't want them. I'm not quite sure how many underscores that I have there, so I'm just going to copy this into my clipboard. Then I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and I'm going to tell it there is a blank name in the list. One name is, I'm going to open up quotes, and then I'm going to paste from my clipboard those underscores, close quotes. So those are the two problem entries. I want to remove these from the list. So now it's giving me updated code. And if you're wondering where it's doing the removal, it's exactly here. That's the empty string, and there are the underscores. So I'll copy this and give myself a new cell and hit Control V paste and run. And again, I'm down the bottom there. Now I'm going to scroll up and yeah, so the empty string or the missing name is gone and those underscores also gone. So I do find it rather annoying that I have to, when I'm down here, I have to go all the way up here to hit plus code to give myself a new cell. So I'm just going to do it a few times, by the way. That just gives me a whole lot of cells, so I don't have to keep on hitting that. So what's the next thing I want to do? Well, I'd actually quite like to see this represented as a percentage as well as the total number. So I will toggle back to ChatGPT and tell it I want some extra information. I also want to see the percentage that each name represents out of the total of people in the tree. Give me the full code. So I hit copy on this, back to notebook, scroll down, and I just put it into the next cell. Hit enter, and here O'Gorman is 9% of the tree, Young 7%. It's giving me the percentage to 2 decimal places. I think that's a bit of overkill. So I will tell it I want the percentage to be to 1 decimal place. And I still want the full code, but I shouldn't have to tell it because I've told it now twice to give me the full code. It'll remember within this temporary session that that's my preference. Yeah, here's the updated full code. So copy that. Outer scroll bar. Let's see what this is. Scroll up and yeah, that's a little bit easier to read. So now I've got this full display of every surname in my tree with the frequency and percentage. I want to do some charts, but a chart with whatever it is, 230 entries is quite difficult to read. What I wanted to see is a chart of the top, I'm going to say 20 surnames in my family tree. So I want to show the top 20 surnames by percentage. I think that display is going to be a little bit easier to work with, and that is what I want to build a chart off of. So notice it's telling me I've hit the free plan limit, and it's going to drop down to a less powerful model. That's okay. I don't need super powerful model for what I want. I'll get rid of that. And scroll down a bit, enter this, run. Okay, so now I don't have to do as much scrolling, but that is pretty much what I want to build my report of. And what do I want? Well, I want a chart, and the chart that I prefer is a horizontal bar chart. And I'm going to tell it I want a horizontal bar chart because the default happens to be it picks a vertical bar chart. I'm going to say I want a horizontal bar chart of the top 20 last names ordered from highest to lowest. And if you don't tell it to order from high to low, it'll probably order from low to high. Hit enter. This stuff here, which is building the bar chart. So I'll hit copy on that, back over to the notebook, and this is going to be fun. Scroll down, and there, right within your notebook, is your bar chart. And that's pretty cool. The display isn't quite what I want. For example, I would like to see the percentages as opposed to just bars. So I'll go and tell ChatGPT that I want to see the percentages displayed where at the end of the bars. So it's adding the percentage in here. Run. And oh, okay. Well, it's putting in the percentages, but I don't like that gap. That's fine. I just go back to ChatGPT and slap it on the wrist and say, don't give me the gap. Literally, I don't want a gap between the end of the bar and the percentage. Well, thank you for your understanding. I'll hit copy, go back to notebook, paste, run. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that's much better. That's just a nicer display. This might be exactly what you want, but I like a little bit more color to my charts. What do I like? I'd like the color of the bars to be a darker blue, just so that there's going to be a bit of contrast, because I'm going to say that I like the background of the chart to be, I'll say, yellow. Here it's doing it. This is where it's setting the background, etc. So I'll hit copy on that. Back over to Google Colab. That's my last code cell. So I'll just give myself a few more. But I'll stick my cursor in here, hit paste, and run. Looking good. So one last thing. That's the title. Top 20 last names by percentage in family tree. I'll go back to ChatGPT and say, please set the title to, this is fine, top 20 last names by percentage in, and then I'll have it as Margaret's family tree. And it gives me the full code. You can see that it has edited this line with as I asked. Copy that. Let's take a look at what that displays as. And yeah, that's what I want. So now I've got this nice bar chart. I might want to send it to somebody. I might want to put it into an email. At the moment, it's just in the display. So toggle over to ChatGPT and I'll tell it I want to save this chart as an image, but save to where? What Google Colab won't do is let you use code that saves to your local machine. We're going to save it into the same area as we did our uploads. So we're going to save it in under sample data. So I want to save this chart as an image to this location. And in order to get the location where I'm saving it under sample data, you can just click on the ellipsis and choose copy path from the menu. That'll put the folder path into your clipboard, toggle back over, and that is where we want it to go. Hit enter. So it's giving me the full code. It's chosen its own name. I could have told it a name to use if I wanted to, but last name's chart is fine for me. I'll hit copy, toggle back over, hit run, and I'm going to watch over here. It may take a few seconds, and boom, that did take 2 seconds, I think. But this last name's chart.png ping file has appeared under the sample data folder. And now I can download that. So just hover over the particular file, ellipsis, and choose download. Go to my downloads folder, and there is the file I've just downloaded. Double click on that, and it opens as an image. If you'd like more videos on using AI for your family research, hit like and subscribe. It really helps me out. And if you'd like a full course on using Python on your family tree, check this out.